I have another message for my Parallel Path soul family members. This one is really good. I am so happy with this message. In the beginning of this video, you're going to see one specific part of the reading. And as we go through, you're going to see different cards, so a different addition to the reading. That's because this played out over several days. I knew I was to share this with all of you, but when I got this first message here, I felt very strongly that it wasn't the right time to put this up, and now I know why. If you look at these cards, you'll notice that I have two decks here, and the bottom of the deck is showing up. Now, we're going to start with the upper cards, okay? So you've got three cards across the top. The middle card is called the Lilies. This is from the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck, okay? Now, those lilies represent calm and peace, serenity, contentment, satisfaction, all positive energies, things that we all have been wanting to experience, hoping to experience. It also represents, how do I want to put this? It can represent elders, but for me, it feels like your ancestors on the other side, okay? This is the message for you, that your ancestors, your guides, which is what your ancestors on the other side generally tend to be, is your guides. They're bringing this message through to you, and it's not just the message they're bringing through to you. They're actually the ones moving you forward, guiding you in the direction that you need to go in. Now, with that Lilies card, I wanted clarification on just a little bit more of what they wanted me to know and put across to you where the Lilies card was concerned, because that's very vague. Calm, peace, serenity. It also represents from your elders. It can be that they're bringing you wisdom and it's coming from their experience. But for me, like I said, it's more that they're wanting to move you forward. Now, the cards that clarified the Lily are the Chariot and the Six of Pentacles. Now, the Chariot, very clearly and very strongly, it was told to me, the Chariot card does not mean what it normally means. Now, normally it means you being able to harness the energies and move forward in a harmonious way, even though the energies are black and white, which means opposites. So they're not harmonious coming in, but you're able to harness them and harmoniously move forward with them, even though they are opposites. Like I said, it was very clear to me that that was not the message with the Chariot this time. The message with the Chariot this time is, take a look at yourself sitting on top of the chariot that these horses are pulling. You have no reins. And usually that means you're intuitively balancing things out and harmoniously moving forward, even though the energies are opposites. This time, it's that you can't see where you're headed. You're not moving these horses. You don't have control any which way over these horses or this energy. These horses, this energy, is actually moving you. And it's moving you very quickly. And that's why you're on top of the chariot. You're watching to see what's coming next. You have no idea. You're moving so fast. Things are changing so quickly that you need to be on top of that chariot so you can see where you're headed and what's coming at you next, or at least you think you need to be. Let that go. And you'll find out why in a minute. I'll give you more explanation on that. The other card, the Six of Pentacles, you're being moved in a direction of what you wants you. So it's reciprocity. It's also all about finances. It's about having more than enough money to take care of yourself. You're going to be able to help others financially when you reach this point in time that you're being moved toward. Now, see the Owls card, the bottom of the deck for the Golden Reverie? That can represent mass communication. The owls are all about also, as you know, knowledge, wisdom, experience, which we've already got from the lilies card. But the owls in this deck, mostly they indicate communication. But it's not the kind of communication that you might have with a girlfriend, or, you know, a lighthearted communication or frivolous communication with a family member or whoever. It's more, again, like the lilies, about wisdom. And not necessarily you speaking the wisdom, but you being asked to listen, again, to your elders, your ancestors. And for me, it feels very strongly like they're on the other side. They've already passed over. They're not here in this world. Now, for some of you, it could be that they are. And maybe some of these elders that you're going to gain wisdom from are here, and some are already passed over, okay? Just be aware of anything that comes at you verbally, because it could be a message to help you move forward. Now, this could be from friends that have experienced something and they're communicating it to you. There's going to be something in there for you, okay? Now, the owls also want you to look for other signs, other important signs around you, because, like I said, you're being guided. This chariot is very clearly telling me that those horses are pulling you. You're not telling them where to go. They're pulling you. You have no choice. This is where you're being taken or guided. It feels to me more like, rather than guidance coming in. Now, I know you're being guided here also to listen and pay attention to messages around you, things happening around you for guidance, okay? It's trying to move you in a specific direction, but it feels, this chariot card for me feels very strongly like you are being pulled in a certain direction. Now, with that pulling, you on top of the chariot trying to see where you're going, what you need to know, and how you should be responding, that's maybe where your messages are coming in, because you are being taken. It's like you're being picked up in the hands of divine and being moved to your next place on this path. And the guidance could be coming to you in the way that it helps you to understand what you need to do once you reach that destination, what you need to do at that point, okay? Once you get there. Now, the fact that the owls can represent mass communication, it could be that you're going to get your guidance or your messages brought to you, not your ancestors obviously telling you. If you're on YouTube and you're watching videos and one really stands out or jumps out at you and you go into it to watch it, your guides are likely bringing that to you, setting it into your lap, because there is a message in that for you. Just as if this message that I'm putting across right now is definitely meant for you. If you're here, you feel a need to be in here, this is all resonating with you, this is your message. There is something in here that's key to you moving forward on your path, okay? Now, if you notice the bottom of the deck, the Light Seer's deck, to the right there, King of Pentacles, that is King Midas. This is what you're moving toward, along with the Six of Pentacles. That is great financial wealth. This is where you're headed. And everything you touch, you're at a place now where you're creating your world. You are co-creating, but you have a huge part in the creation of your life. And what's coming through for me is things are going to be different now. For some reason, you've crossed a line and things are going to be different now. So although you've tried things previously and I don't want to say failed, they were a life lesson. They didn't really move you forward anywhere that you wanted to go, but they did teach you a very valuable lesson. Those days are in the past. Just about everything that you touch on, that you do, that you want to put across to help others. Now, this has to be about service. This can't be about, I want this for me, because the only way that we're going to be successful moving forward in our lives is if we're doing something that we love to do and we're also doing it to help others. We can't be doing things just to satisfy ourselves. That's not going to, I mean, you can, but it's not going to move you forward the way you want to move forward, okay? So you're landing on that path where everything you touch is going to turn to gold. So get ready for that, but pay attention and stay aware of your surroundings and synchronicities and messages that are landing in your lap, because that's how it's going to come to you. Moving on to the next deck and the next little bit of guidance here, I was so strongly pushed toward this Queen of the Moon Oracle deck that I couldn't take my thoughts away from it. And I didn't grab it immediately. So this was a couple of days ago that I first felt this pull to pull this deck out. And when I first got that feeling, I wasn't in a space where I was able to do anything with it. So I waited. But I was brought to it again today. And so I pulled it out, and I'm blown away by the messages that came through with this deck. Now, if you notice, the first card is focus. And it's all about timing. Spirit wanted me to get the messages and have the timing around it. So I want you to pay attention to the timing of each of these cards as I give it to you, because you're going to be able to go back in time about a week and possibly see exactly what Spirit is talking about today, okay? Because guidance started happening for you about midweek last week, so right around the 13th of November. And the guidance was focus. And you maybe didn't feel the guidance or hear the guidance, but you suddenly felt like you needed to focus, and you started to focus in on whatever it was that you were thinking about. Whatever was in your mind midweek last week, and you started to really focus on it and about it. That wasn't you. That was your guides, source, spirit, God, whatever you choose to call it, your higher self. You were being guided to focus on that. It was an important time in the process of manifestation, okay? And that focusing at that point in time was so crucially important to where you're being guided, where you're being taken to, and what you need to do moving forward from that point, okay? So the next card is the Resilience card. Now, the Resilience card, the timing of that one is midweek this week. So the 20th of November, Wednesday, again, exactly a week from when you were needing to focus on what you were thinking, whatever thoughts were in your head midweek last week, and you started focusing on those. That's what you needed to focus on. This week, midweek, was all about being resilient. Now, you started to focus on something. Anyways, this is the message that came through to me. You started focusing on something a week ago, Wednesday. And it feels heavy. Whatever it was, it felt heavy. So it might have been something negative. It could be someone treated you poorly. It could be just something negative took place in your environment. Energetically, you just felt down and out and like life seemed hard. I don't know what it was. Only you know what that was. And that's why you were being asked or guided to focus on what it is that was going through your mind, because there was something very important there that was coming up to the surface to be released. And that's where the focus came in. You needed to really take a look at it, understand what it was, why it was coming to the surface, why it was making you feel the way it was making you feel, and keep moving forward anyways, being resilient in that moment. Now, the next card is surrender. So you were asked, first of all, to focus on what was taking place in your thoughts. Be resilient, moving forward in that energy to figure out and have an understanding of why it was taking place and what it was trying to teach you. The surrender card, the timing of that is next Monday. So what is next Monday? The 25th of November. So come Monday, you're going to be asked to surrender. You've gone through the focusing, you've gone through being resilient, gaining an understanding of what was taking place, why it was taking place in your energy, your environment, your thoughts, and then surrendering it to the universe, just letting it go. There's nothing you need to do. All you needed was to pay attention to what it was, be resilient in moving through it, not pushing it down, not throwing it out into, the universe and forgetting about it, but being resilient in trying to move through it, work through it, figure out what it was trying to tell you. And then once you do, you will have that knowing. That's why this reading is coming out when it is, because it's prior to you surrendering it all. It's going to give you an extra couple of days to look back and see what the universe is talking about here with the focus card and the resilience card. And then you can work through it. You will have a little bit of extra time to work through it if you didn't. Okay? Because come the 25th, you need to surrender that. Let it go. It's gone. It'll leave your system. It'll be gone energetically. You won't have to deal with that again. And the reason you need to do that is because of the bottom of the deck card, the peace card, which is the overall energy here. It is the reason these things need to happen, because this is where you're headed. And it's crazy, but the timing of that peace card is next Wednesday. So do you realize everything that's happening exactly 7 days apart? You've got focus. That was the 20th, correct? I'm sorry, focus was the 13th. So that was last Wednesday. Then you've got the resilience card, which was the 20th, which was this Wednesday, a few days ago of November. And then you have the surrender card, which is right between the focus and the resilience. If you combine those together and what you need to do with those, and the peace card. So it's giving you that extra opportunity to do what you need to do with this information, this energy that you've gone through in the last week, okay? And then once you surrender it, peace. You have the peace. Go back to the first cards. The first part of this reading, the lilies card, was all about peace. Remember? Peace, wisdom, serenity. That was a big part of this first part of the reading with the first cards that came out. Now we have these cards, and again, we're getting the same message. Peace, serenity, ease of life. And that peace card, the timing of that is the 27th of November. So you've got the 13th, 20th, and 27th. They're all on Wednesdays. They're all exactly 7 days apart. This is a big message. And that's why I felt that it wasn't the right time to put this out. It's also taking place just prior to the new moon on the 30th of November. And I think there's a reason for that. I believe that we needed to go through this by the 30th, because that's when the newness takes place. There will be something changing in your life. And I want to point out, I've been seeing 1122 a lot in the last few weeks. And I'm being called to do this reading on the 22nd of November, which is 1122. The new moon on the 30th of November takes place at 11:22 p.m. There are no coincidences. There are no accidents. These things are happening for a reason. The universe will keep hitting us with signs and synchronicities when it's important. When something important is headed your way. I feel that whatever it is that's headed our way after this new moon or around this new moon on the 30th, it's important. And that's why we keep getting smacked with these things. You know, the 1122, seeing it so many times. You have got to be seeing it if you're on a parallel path to me, you have seen it at least once or twice in the last couple of weeks. Or you're about to. But you're also a part of this new moon being at 11:22 p.m. Now, I believe that's Eastern Standard Time. It doesn't matter to me because it's showing up in the calendar of moon phases as 11:22 p.m. It doesn't matter to me what the time zone is. The universe has given me that time for a reason. Now 11:22, what that represents is the energies around you are going to start picking up and moving at twice the speed. That always happens during a manifestation. Manifestations, if you remember back to them when they take place in your world, they always start happening very quickly. The energy starts to move very fast. You feel a little bit uneasy. You feel like you're moving forward very quickly. Things are happening and falling into place very quickly and easily around you. That is a guaranteed sign of divine guidance, divinely guided manifestations. So that's what we've got coming around this new moon. So whatever it is that popped into your energy field on the 13th of November that was cause for focus and resilience, please surrender that. Work through it. Figure out what the message is, what the life lesson is with that, and surrender it on the 25th of November, this coming Monday. Because that's the only way you're going to get to the peace. The ease of living, the peace, not having to worry about things anymore, not having to worry about finances anymore. Your life is about to move forward in a very different direction and a very different way. You're never going to have to worry about finances again. You are reaching that place. You've got the King of Pentacles, King Midas. You are becoming the creator of your world and your life. Not that you weren't before, but now more so than ever. And the things that you touch on, that you really are excited about, that you want to do, that are also going to help others. Now, it doesn't have to be something that only helps others and you don't really care about it or you don't like doing it. It needs to start with you, but put it out to help others as well. That's what this is all about. I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing so that, even the negative, so that I can find the positive in it. I can find the lesson in it. And then I can move forward and I can put this out for you guys. And then you can see it as well and learn from it. And we can all move forward in a much better direction toward a much brighter light and an easier way to be. I hope this resonates with you. I hope it helps you to understand what's been taking place over the last couple of weeks. And I hope I get more messages like this because I really enjoy these and I hope you do too. I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next one.